Hello my dear friends. So today we start with the steps in vibration analysis and methods of formulation of equation of motion. So first of all, vibration analysis procedure. So for any vibration analysis procedure there will be four basic steps: mathematical modeling, derivation of governing equation of motion, third one solution of governing equations, and fourth one interpretation of results. So we first of all start with mathematical. Now what do you mean by mathematical modeling? Mathematical modeling means what? Represents the actual engineering of machine or any system, convert it in terms of a spring, mass and damper system for the analyzation purpose. For means what? To represent all the important features of the system for the purpose of deriving the mathematical equations for the system's behavior. Mathematical model may be linear, non-linear, depending upon the behavior of the system component. Mathematical model is gradually improved to obtain more accurate results. It means that initially we can't get it anything about the mathematical model. It is gradually improved one by one and by analyzing the system. Okay, so take an example of modeling of forging hammer. So initially forging hammer, it means that see one tub is mounted over there which is impinged on the anvil, and then with the help of this anvil the forging part will get created. So with the prime vision we can say that there is anvil, and below the anvil there is a damper and a stiffness due to the soil, and that from the top the applied force is applied, so displacement only is x1. But we haven't considered the foundation mass and the elastic stiffness provided by the sand or soil to the foundation. So in the third image you just found out top is the applied force, anvil, then damping of elastic pad, then stiffness of elastic pad between the anvil and the foundation block, and then foundation block and the fixed support there is a soil which will act as an again damper and again a stiffness. Okay, it means that in actual practice there will be two types of dampers individually and two types of springs individually acting in between the anvil and foundation block. So this is the final model of the forging hammer. Now let's consider second example as a modeling of motorcycle with a rider. Now as shown initially we will say that M equivalent, that is the total mass of the system, and then K equivalent and the C equivalent. But see, the mass, that is a rider, is sitting on a seat. It means that that seat will provided some stiffness as well as some damper, and then entire vehicle is mounted on two tires by means of supporting springs and a damper. It means that first of all mf is the mass, then ms is the mass of the bike. Okay, so in between those two, cushioning is provided by means of a seat which will act as a damper as well as spring. Again, from upper portion, from between the tire, that is a wheel, and the vehicle chassis, again spring damper system is there. So there will be two spring damper systems are provided, or you will see in the fourth figure. Okay, and again the wheel is mounted on a tire, so tire will act as a elastic element between the wheel and the ground surface. So fifth position is the final position or final system elaborated with all kinds of elastic elements and the damping elements and the masses. Then we go for derivation of governing equation of motion. So for single degree of freedom system there will be four methods: Newton's method, D'Alembert's principal method, energy method, Rayleigh's method. And for multi-degree freedom we have to go for Lagrangian method, Dunkerley's method and the Rayleigh's method. First of all, what do you mean by derivation of governing equation of motion? Okay, so we have developed a system, we have generalized the system in the form of spring, mass and damper. Now we have to convert it into a standard governing equation which can be solved for the different output effects. We will see it one by one. first of all Newton's method. So what do you believe Newton's method? Okay, so according to the Newton's law, rate of change of momentum of a mass is equal to the force acting on it. So first of all, consider a spring of stiffness K. Okay, initially it has a length L. Now just attach the mass M at the end, don't vibrate it and just move it. It means that due to own mass, system will get elongated by a distance delta x. Okay, it means that at that position, mass of the system will get balanced by opposing spring force, that is K into delta static. It means that at equilibrium position we can write it down mg is equal to K into delta static. Okay, now after that equilibrium position, suppose if I displace a mass by a distance x, okay, and if I release it, then system will vibrate on its own. So at that time, mass mg, okay, and opposing force is K into bracket x plus delta static. This at that time system is not at equilibrium position. It means that net force acting on the system while during the downward motion is mg minus K into bracket x plus delta static. Okay, so now applying the Newton's second law, we can write it down as mx double dot is equal to mg minus of K into bracket x plus delta static. Okay, but from initial at equilibrium position, mg is equal to K into delta static. So final the solution is mx double dot is equal to minus of kx, and we can rearrange the term as mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. This is the generalized differential equation for single degree freedom spring mass system. Now we go for as D'Alembert's principle. According to this principle, if the body is not in static equilibrium because of acceleration it possesses, it can brought to the static equilibrium by introducing an inertia force which acts through the center of gravity in the direction opposite to the acceleration and is equal to the mass of the acceleration, mass times of the acceleration. So we can write it down it as mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. Okay, about differential equation of motion or single degree freedom spring mass system, not a damper system. Okay, then we go for next energy method. So as per the law of conservation of energy, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be converted from one form to another form. Total energy remains constant. Let the system is displaced by a displacement x as shown in figure. So kinetic energy is possessed by the system is 1/2 mx dot squared, and potential energy possessed by the system is 1/2 kx squared. Okay, so total energy is equal to 1/2 mx dot squared plus 1/2 kx squared is equal to constant. Now differentiate above equation with respect to the time. You will get it as 1/2 into m into 2x dot into x double dot plus 1/2 into k into 2x into x dot is equal to 0. So we can cancel it out, 1/2 into 1/2 and 2 into x dot term from this entire equation, and finally you will get it as mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. This is again the equation of differential equation for a single degree freedom spring mass system. We go for Rayleigh's method. According to this method, if the system undergoing the harmonic motion, then the maximum kinetic energy is equal to the maximum potential energy. So energy is either maximum kinetic or maximum potential as per the Rayleigh's method. So let x is equal to a sin omega t, hence x dot is equal to a omega cos omega t. So x max is equal to a omega. Therefore maximum kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 into m x dot max bracket square is equal to 1/2 into a omega square, whereas maximum potential energy is equal to 1/2 kx square, which is equal to 1/2 into k into a bracket square. By applying the principle, maximum kinetic energy is equal to maximum potential energy, so which is equal that's why we can say that 1/2 into m into a omega bracket square, which is equal to 1/2 into k into a square. So after equating we can get it as omega is equal to k upon m, but in our system damper is absent. We can say that omega is equal to omega n is equal to square root of k into m, which is again the solution as we get it as previous three types. For multi-degree freedom we go for at multi-degree freedom problems. Thank you.